Happy New Year's. Welcome back, guys. New year, new me. Just kidding. My name's John Guerra, and this is the Get It and Don Show. 2026, baby, we're here. And we're going to be talking to the number one pound for pound bare knuckle fighter in the world. The man himself, or should I say, the redneck himself, Dave Mundell. Let's get straight into it, baby. Kabang!
And I can't go on, I can't go on like this, just dwelling on it.
Like this,
Used to be, I can fix these halls and patch these walls, but there's no
Let's get straight into the episode, guys.
How you doing today, man?
I can't complain.
Yeah. That photo on your story with you and the belts, did you take that like today, or is that an old photo that you posted?
My girlfriend does photography and stuff, so we went
Mm.
down there to do a shoot with them, and she's the one who actually controls everything, so she put it out there today.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's pretty dope. That's kind of a cheat code, huh? To have your own like photographer with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So talk to me a little bit about how what have you been up to recently, especially it's like the holidays. Is training still like going hard?
Yeah, I still train every day. Well, Monday through Friday, and then sometimes on Saturday mornings we go out and spar. Just because the holidays are here, if it doesn't stop, we keep pushing. If I can't get to a gym, then I just put in some road work, keep grinding.
Yeah. So when it comes to the training, is it like I need to do this every day? Like this is part of my day. Like you're not even thinking about it. It's just
Yeah.
like, when am I going to do my training today?
No, absolutely. I think I quit work finally like 6 months ago, so especially now, it's just super important to just for my own focus, my own mind and everything, just to have a routine, getting up and going. I get up and then I get ready and I go train right away, knock it out right away.
Hmm. So when you stopped working, was it like kind of a weird transition, or was it like an instant, like, all right, now I get to do this all the
No, it
time?
was definitely took a little bit of time figuring things out. It was super simple the first 4 weeks because that was right before my last fight. I finally, quit work so I could focus on camp. And when I fought over there in New Mexico, and so afterwards, of course, you take a little bit of time off after a fight, and you start going back to the gym, and you're just trying to figure out your time slots all over again.
Hmm.
But
So when you're traveling for fights, is it really like, oh, I'm going to go see this whole area? Are you kind of like on a vacation in a way, or is it more of this is all business? I'm not really focusing on where I'm at. I just know that I'm
every
fighting.
every place has its own vibe, I guess. It just really depends. Like New Mexico, fuck that place. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy my time over there. It was just weird. Everybody around there was weird.
Hmm. So like, where's been your favorite place to travel ever since starting fighting?
Nothing's quite top Spain when they sent me over there. It's a whole different culture. You walk around, everything's real relaxed. The time's relaxed. Everyone doesn't really start their day till late morning. They go home and take a siesta, and that's like across everywhere. Like the places will just shut down at like 2 p.m. I think is somewhere around there. And then also like their dinners are super late. Like people sit down for dinner at like 10 o'clock, and
That's
they'll sit
wild.
down for 2 hours. So like these places where you go eat. Like, you'll go there and the waitress, you'll seem like you're not getting the service you want, but it's just how they are. Like, they're just slow. Everything's very slow moving, easy going,
Pretty
family
dope.
oriented.
Yeah, that's because a lot of times here, I feel like it's more of, all right, we're doing this. This is what we're doing, and you're not really
Fast
focusing
paced.
on everything around you.
Everything here is get them in, get them out, make money.
Hmm. Hmm. So, talk to me about the whole cowboy hat. How many cowboy hats do you have?
Right now, just two. This one's been with me through all my fights, and then I got one that I wear, like, if I want to go out somewhere nice or something.
Hmm. This is actually my first, so you could see it. It hasn't been used that much. It looks a little new. So what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna do a little segment, a little game. Let's get things going a little bit. It's gonna be a would you rather. I know they used to play these with the kids, and I'm gonna throw some at you right now.
All right.
Here we go. Let me buckle up a little bit. I gotta stretch before we do this. All right. Would you rather have a bare knuckle fight against Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Batman. All right. But there's preparation. People always say with preparation, Batman can't lose. That's what they throw out there a lot.
Yeah, I'm not scared of any man. At least he's human.
All right, here we go. Would you rather lose your hair for good or lose your beard for good?
My hair.
Your hair?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Usually people that have like bigger beards, they look good without hair. Like it's like more of a natural look.
Yeah, I think that's just like an age thing. Like that's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah. Dang, man. So you accepted that. Like you're like, all right, well, if I ever gotta lose my hair, it's like whatever. Like I'll
Yeah.
be fine with it.
Everyone
Dang, yeah.
always tells they wear hats all the time. They're like, "That's gonna be bad for your hair." I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll just prepare for it."
Yeah. I'll just keep wearing hats, right? When it's gone,
There
you
you
just
go.
wear a hat again.
Simple.
All right, here we go. Would you rather wrestle a crocodile in the water or a grizzly bear in its cave?
Oh, a croc. I'll jump on an alligator's back all day.
Oh man, dude. Have you ever like so do you ever deal with those? Like, do you ever come upon those every now and then?
Not legally.
Dude, yeah, that's kind of one of my bigger fears, crocodiles, you know. I used to have dreams going up of like me being in random situations and then a crocodile would come out of nowhere and I'd have to wrestle it.
Well, you keep saying croc, which I know is like the saltwater version, right? But around
Yeah.
here in alligators here in Florida, like they it's more of a they're not bad. I don't really have a problem. They might chase a fish up or something when you're trying to reel one in, but they're not really gonna bother you. You
Hmm.
gotta be doing something pretty stupid for them to get a hold of you.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be seeing that. Like they're like kind of like a natural thing for y'all over there in Florida. That's wild to me, man. That's wild. Where I'm from, San Antonio, it's like there's literally nothing here. That's really like what you're gonna run into a deer every now and then. That's like the scariest thing you'll find. It's like a chilled area, you know, nothing too adventurous here. But one more for you right here. Would you rather have a boxing match, but you could only use one hand, or a kickboxing match, but you could only use one leg?
I'm gonna go with the boxing match. There's been plenty of times where I broke my hands in fights and I could only fight the rest of the round with my one hand. And when I fought Hector, I broke my hand the very first exchange and
Hmm.
just to finish him off with just my lead the rest of the fight.
Yeah, you be hearing about that a lot. That people do that. That they just
Happens.
like. Is it like so? When you break your hand in a situation like that, do you know? Like, this is like
Yeah.
instantly like you feel it. And
Yep.
you're like, oh yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Is it like a pain factor, or is it just like, oh, I can't use it factor?
I guess a little bit of both. So one time I was fighting, and I remember like I cracked the kid, and I leaned back to hit him again. And right before like I went to throw it, I just remember feeling the pain, and I went and I turned it into an elbow. I got yelled at.
Oh,
The ref. I was like, but it was so involuntary. Like it just like when I hit him and I felt, I was like, oh that shit that hurts, and then I just aborted mid mission.
they say that like in bare knuckle, the big difference is that when you throw a punch, you're supposed to squeeze your fist, right? When you land it, compared to boxing, when you could kind of flow it a little bit more. Is that like a true thing?
So I it doesn't matter what sport you're in. If you're throwing punches, like you should have your hands clenched in my eyes. I wouldn't open them up. I mean, when I'm shadow boxing, that's something I do, right? I'll flick,
Mm,
but it's because I'm playing. But in the fight, I do my best, especially when I'm throwing. It's always tight. Boxing, MMA, um, it doesn't matter. You gotta clench them.
mhm. So I saw you had a video of you shooting a little bow, going on a little bow action. You know, man, that's something I've always wanted to do. I think shooting a bow is like so cool because it's like more of a classic like style of doing it. How long
I
you been
I
doing that for?
Not long. So, like, my first love was fishing, you know, I'm always going fishing and stuff,
Mm,
and as you're growing up, like, you see people fly fishing all the time, but it's very hard, you know, and that's something I've been doing a lot more of now. So, when I go hunting, when you're hunting with a gun, and, like, it's kinda like the same thing, you're hunting with, like, a regular spinning reel, but then when you start using the bow, it's like fly fishing, it's very finesse, and you gotta be stealthy, and it changes the game up completely, it's just a different way. So, it's to me, man, I love it.
yeah, do you feel a little more badass? You're like, oh, look,
It's definitely
bow.
harder, so it's definitely, better sense of accomplishment for sure.
Hmm. And then how do you feel about how some people will just go straight to the crossbow and they call that bow hunting?
It's still harder than shooting a gun because you still gotta be within range, but it does take, you know, a lot of things out of play, so it's a little bit easier than the bow, but still harder than the gun, so it's like that middle ground, and shit, I mean, if you gotta put food on the table, I ain't gonna I'll go out there with a gun. I'll go out there with a machine gun, just plow them all down. Fuck it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it still gets that food going. Uh, so fishing, you said fishing, and fishing something I've always loved to do. Do you prefer saltwater fishing or
Oh,
freshwater
absolutely.
fishing?
Saltwater. I mean, I grew up, like I said, I'm here in Florida, upper Tampa
Mhm.
Bay, saltwater all day. I used to pond hop a lot when I was a kid because you couldn't really get to these places. You didn't have boats. You drop a boat in a pond anyways. So like just saltwater, there's just so much more going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and they fight, dude. Those fish fight out there. It's pretty vicious sometimes. I went deep sea fishing, and I remember I was, like, reeling in this one. I was like, "Oh, this is a big boy." Bring it out, it's, like, the size of my hand, and that thing was fighting like it was, like, an alligator, man. I was in shock.
And some depending on the species, man, some of those things they'll kick your ass.
Have
It'll
you
take you
ever,
an hour plus to get some of them fish in,
oh,
and
yeah, man.
it's tiring.
You ever gone, shark fishing before?
Oh, of course. I mean, they're more of a nuisance to me. Like so many people love catching them. It's like I don't want anything to do with them. Like I want them to stay away, especially when we're diving and shit. Like they'll come around trying to shoot fish. You gotta like bear hug it before they get up to you, and they're a nuisance. They're a
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
dude. So you were saying all this, you're like, of course I've done this," and it's like, these are things that, you think about it, you're like, "Oh, this is a dope thing to do over here," but, of course, like, when you're in Florida, everything's over there, you get all the action. So, you said diving, so you've diving in and there's been sharks around. See, if that happened to
Always.
me, I'd
It's
probably
that's
piss myself.
But see, that's another thing with like the alligators. Like it's just so common here. Like the people who actually do it, it's just another day. Like we see them all the time. Like I said, they're annoying. And other people who've never seen them before, they same with the alligator. It's like, oh look, there's one. It's like, yeah, every day. There's
So,
lakes everywhere.
is it, like, where you're scared of it or you're just kinda, like, aware of it now?
For what? And I'm not really scared of any of them.
Like,
So I'm
being
just
around,
more
like, a shark? Is it kinda like, "Oh, well, here's a shark."
listen, like obviously things do happen. There's crazy cases. I get sharks do bite people, blah blah blah. But it's so rare. It's so rare. They're a lot of times they won't. Like I said, if I'm down there, even free diving, and I shoot something and I start swimming up right away, and it's attached to a line. If I see a shark, you know what I do is I pull it into me as fast as I can, and I hug the fish, and then the shark, it's like, okay, he's got it, and leave him around. He'll still circle around. Very rare will they still try to take it. Like they usually they notice they're like, okay, whatever. And they go to the next thing, or they circle around. You wait for you to shoot something else. What you don't want to do is leave the line out and be scared of them because then they start eating, and then they get into like a feeding frenzy, and then they're a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah. And I think that comes with the whole like, social media does that as well, is how no one's gonna post anything if a shark doesn't do anything. Like, that no one's gonna find a headline for that. So, it creates that whole thing where it's like, "Oh, it's a shark, something's gonna happen."
People love drama. They
You
want to
know?
see it.
Do you feel like the whole, like, people love drama thing, like, that kinda, like, has to feed into what you do? And how, like, you're like, "Alright, well, there's a agenda sometimes in a
Unfortunately.
fight." It's where I
Yeah,
gotta
it's super annoying. Um, that goes back to, like, my whole social media thing. Up until my girl, like, I wasn't on top of it, and I just don't, do it. I just train, I fight. I'm good at fighting. This other part of needing to be popular just to get paid, like, it used to be who was the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Pound for
Mhm.
pound, number 1 in the world. Like, I am the best. And it's crazy to me to think that there's other people above me with money wise, like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that is really how a lot of things have turned, man, where it's like, it's not about who the best is because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, no one knows his name. No one knows who's the best," but it's about who makes the most noise, and they're considered the person that everyone knows. Like, the whole like, with Jake Paul, a lot of the situation with Jake Paul is that he got a lot of people to watch, but it's the fact that he's calling people out, he's making all that noise, and that takes me to this point. What did you think about that whole Anthony Joshua fight and Jake Paul getting his jaw broken?
Listen, uh, I think that Anthony Joshua knocked him out because he knew he could, and then I think what was it, 9 days later or some shit like that, I think somebody tried to kill him.
Yeah, man. It's there's a lot of stuff with it. It's a crazy situation. And did you like in your mind going into that fight? Did you know what was gonna happen? Like your mind, like kind of was like, all right, well, this is what's supposed to happen, and this is what's probably gonna happen.
Well, that's the whole thing is if you're talking about actually fighting, different weight classes, different skill levels, everything, like, there's no question that Josh should win, but then that's that everyone's saying, like, "Is it scripted? Is he" "Is someone getting paid to throw the fight?" type deal. So, like, you never really know. You don't know. You just gotta watch, just see which way they're gonna let it go. But as if they actually fought, that's exactly what's gonna happen every single time.
Mhm. And do you think with the whole broken jaw, it's kind of a sign to, like, kinda like there's a amount that you can say and there's an amount that you can do with, like, this kind of, like, level of experience that you have to where you kinda have to, like, kinda dim it down a little bit?
Uh What are you saying for, like, Jake and, like, how like, his accomplishments and everything? I'm not really
Yeah, like,
understanding.
Jake and, like, going forward on who he fights.
Or what he should do?
Yeah.
He should I mean, if you're gonna be a boxer and do this stuff, take it seriously, that's why there's weight classes. That's why, there's the whole it's already laid out for everybody. It's just what you do at the sport. There's weight classes, like, you just fight in your weight class. So you wanna jump around because you think you're the best, then you find out. You fuck around, you find out. And so maybe he should stick to his weight class.
So when it comes to that statement that you've made here, that takes me to another point on a fight that has been looming a little bit, a good amount. People have been hollering it out. You know, when you go to bed, you dream about it a little bit. Is you and Mike Perry, and that comes to the big statement of what we talked about a few minutes ago, where it's like who's the best and who makes the most noise, because that's the person that usually gets looked at. You and Mike Perry, if they pull the trigger on this fight, what is the outcome in your mind that you believe will happen?
I will beat the piss out of that kid, yo. I will batter him. It'll just be whenever he decides he can't take no more. We all seen he's tough. He can take a hit and he can still come forward. But again, there's levels. If he keeps doing that, I'm just gonna keep hitting him. And I'll fuck that man up.
I saw the whole. This was my opinion going up to his last fight. I thought it should have been you. The statement they were making, it made it sound like it was the wrong guy that was picked for the build up of that fight. Were
Right.
you offered that fight? Was there anything thrown at you towards that fight?
Listen, I was told that it was gonna be mine multiple times. Not even just for that fight, but previously in other fights that he had, and it just always seems to go a different round. Always just seems to be somebody that he could actually beat or he could actually edge out a win. There's always something that he gets, whether it be the weight class or an old retired guy or whatever. He just like being just being handed fucking wins is all it is. People see him, they think he's tough, they like him, they love him because of how retarded he is. Like if that's what you want to be known for, more power to you. Great. But you're in my sport. You're playing my game. I'm the best. People think you're best. People think you are the best, then we need to fight. It's simple. We got to figure it out. Ain't that what it's all about?
The best fighting the best. That's what it should be about, man. And then the whole like thing with Luke Rockhold, they're building that up. And if you've seen, man, he's gotten knocked out. He went to boxing, he got knocked out. So it's just
Because he
more of
can't
a.
box. He's not a boxer. He's a kickboxer. You
Mhm.
let him use his legs, he feels more comfortable. The man's a bitch, anyways. He literally quit because he lost a tooth or something like that. Like I don't know. To me, I would not give up on a fight. It shows that he just didn't care about it. Again, he's just getting handed wins. Somebody went in there that they knew, like, okay, he's got no hands. He's a pretty boy. He's gonna want to quit, or he's just not gonna want to be in there. He's not taking the fight seriously. So this should be an easy fight for Mike. Big name, easy win.
And then you said to like kind of unify it in a way and make it more to where it looks more appealing to Perry to where he has no excuse. You said that you'd put your belt on the line and kind of have unify of who the best actually is.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a belt, so, like, he's in my weight class. Like, you wanna be the champ in the BKFC organization, you, like, you fight, Let's fight for the belt. It's simple.
Yeah, that is a crazy thing. That nowadays, like even like they consider someone that's not the champ to be the best in a lot of like sports
It
too.
that
They
just
do that.
doesn't make sense to me,
Then
like,
what's
how
the
can
point
you
of a
be the
champ,
best?
right?
You don't even have the belt. It just doesn't make any sense.
So when it comes to fighting, a lot of people always get mad at like at the fighters for not making those big fights. How much of it really is on the fighters, and how much of it is on the actual like I guess the politics version of it?
It's so mixed, man, it just really decides. There's a lot of times that, like, for instance, Mike, like he's at a point where all more power to him. He's made his money. He's doing all right. He doesn't need to take a fight where he's going to get his ass whooped. Like he doesn't need that. He doesn't want that. It'll ruin his stock. He won't. Then he'll be known for losing, right? So like sometimes in those situations, like Mike, I 100% believe it's on him because if he wanted to fight, if he truly thought he was able to beat me, he would ask for the fight, even if he wants to claim like, okay, they need to pay me for it. Like if you think you can beat me up so easily, you've been willing to fight me for free and multiple occasions where you throw your little temper tantrum. Like, why hasn't it been set up then? You throw your temper tantrum when people can step between you and save you, and you price yourself out of the fight because you know if you get in here, you get your ass whooped. So that part's on the fighters. Sometimes politics do play roles and things like you have to you can't be 10-0 fighting somebody who's 1-0 or 2-7 upside down records. It's shit like that does happen, but it's also get past the commission. Things got to make sense. Like that's the business side of it, there where they take their part over. But BKFC has already done that. Like this fight makes sense. So the only person that seems to be unwilling to do it is Perry himself.
And have you, like, heard anything? Has there been any, like, kind of negotiation between you and Perry ever since?
It's always dangling that carrot, man. They always tell me the same shit. Like, "He's coming up. He's next. We're gonna give him to you next, or you'll be his next fight." It's like, what does that mean? He'll be my next fight. I'll be his next fight if he comes back. Then I get to fight him. But I either gotta wait for him to come back, or I just fight in between. Like, it's just weird.
So when it comes to, like, we'll bring it over to here. When it comes to the whole, like, getting into that mode where I'm fighting now, is it like a switch that you turn on, or is it kinda like naturally it's there?
It's weird because in the beginning it used to be something I would try to focus on as far as like hitting a switch and becoming like a killer or whatever people say. But now it's so common. It's just another day in the office. Like, don't I get it? Like now we're out there, we don't have the gloves on and everybody's watching. But I've already put so much fucking work in the gym, sparred so many people that were supposed to be able to beat me up. I've had that anxiety behind me the entire camp. When I get out there, it's just another day. So I guess that's the progression and like the level that I'm on, and just being experienced.
Mhm. And when you first started fighting, like, was there, like you said, like, you felt like you had to have that switch. Was there moments where, like, you were looking for it and you're like, "I can't find this switch. How am I gonna be this, like, this dangerous guy?"
Not really. I don't think I've ever had a problem. I've always actually been super calm, and it's weird because now it's like I get more nervous now in my older age than I did when I was ready. I was young and dumb, just ready to go out there and do whatever. Now it's like, okay, I want to make sure that I, you know, stay in good shape here, whatever, and I want to continue to be able to do what I love to do. So, but when we get out there, it's just again, like it's just there. We're just there. We're gonna fight. It's just another day.
And when it comes to cutting weight, what is that process really like for people that are
Miserable.
like, yeah,
Fucking miserable. I hate it, but it's necessary, and it does so much for the mental health, for the discipline, like, all of it. And if you don't do it correctly, like, you will never amount to anything.
mhm,
I was really good at doing it on my own, but even um I have a nutritionist that sets everything up and tells me what to eat, when to eat it, stuff like that, how much water I should be taking, and helps me get my body ready to dump that water out. Still miserable, still sucks, but necessary.
so how much, like, do you drop during, like, the whole process?
I walk around, at any given time, I'm over 200 pounds, right? And
Mm,
my heaviest maybe like 215 right now, like 205 before I fight, like upper 90s, right? And then it just depends. Um, so I'll cut like, was it like 20 pounds? I think usually like the day or the week of the fight, but I'm prepped, I'm ready to go, and it's just everything's down to a science.
and you feel like now that you have, like, people helping you with it and that's what they're focused on, it's become a lot easier for you?
It takes a little bit of the anxiety away of making sure
Mm,
you're doing it right. Like I'm putting my trust in somebody else, but also with my own knowledge of also like always questioning things. Like I just know it's tried and true, it's there. Just get through it. It's gonna suck. I'm gonna doubt myself the entire time because you're depleted, you're miserable, you're tired, it just sucks. But if you know you're gonna, you know, you gotta do it. You gotta get in there, you gotta lose that weight, you weigh in, you get to rehydrate, and then you feel like a monster. You just did something that you know other people can't do. And I get to go in there and beat his ass for it.
Yeah, man, I used to wrestle when I was, in high school, so, this a little way ago, and gosh, man, no one ever helped me cut weight, nothing, and I remember I would just, like, the week of, would just drop it all, and it was, like, literally just starving myself and, like, of thirst, and I would go into those matches, dude, we had, like, 5 matches, and oh my gosh, by, like, the 4th one, it would be me just, like, dragging ass everywhere.
Yeah.
It was bad, dude.
So it's like wrestling's a lot harder because you have to make weight. You can't cut as much basically. You won't have the time to recover. Where if I know you can't fully recover from being dehydrated in 24 hours. They say like you have to get an IV or something like that, whatever. But you can do a really good job. So if you have a
Mm,
system and you do everything you're supposed to, that 24 hours, I can rehydrate a lot. When you're wrestling, like you can only do a little bit of weight because you're not going to have no time. You step on a scale and you could be wrestling an hour from that.
yeah.
It could be 2, 3 hours, but it's like an hour, hour and a half. You're right back on. I remember those days. It was miserable, and you have to fight depleted. So it's a difference in sports there for sure. Like just how you would go about doing those things. You ain't cutting 20 pounds than wrestling. That's for damn sure.
Oh,
And
oh,
I
man,
still
that was
think till today, like my high school wrestling practices were harder than anything I've ever done, even with that level of the athlete that I am now. Like we have some hard days, don't get me wrong, but that shit back there at school, every day, nonstop. It was
mhm.
nuts.
Yeah, I would, for me, I played baseball at the same time, so I didn't have time to go in the afternoon practice, so I would go, like, at 6 AM, and I'd do wrestling,
Hold
but
up.
by myself. So it'd be me versus the coach, and he'd be the one hands-on teaching me, and oh my gosh, man, the end of the day would be just pure pain. I'd be all marked up. I'd have, like, 30 black dots all over my arm, and it was
But that shit makes you tough, and it and
yeah,
it makes you realize what you're able to do, and it's so many life lessons. It's so good for the kids. When my daughter gets older or when she starts going to high school, I hope she decides to wrestle too, like just to be a part of something like that and really push herself. She's doing jujitsu now, and that's already a huge plus. But again, like I want her to figure it out for herself and how hard she needs to push to become better. And that shit right there, that high school wrestling room, that'll do it.
it gets you good, man. I remember when I first joined, like, everyone kinda thinks they're hot shit going into, like, any kind of fighting, man, and it's like
Yeah, but you have to. That's the mental side of
yeah,
things. If you don't have that, then you already lost, you know? You have like that's when everyone's like, "Oh, you shouldn't talk shit about your opponents." I'm like, or like you shouldn't down them and say they're trash because then why are you fighting somebody who's trash? I'm like, well, they all look like trash to me. They all seem like it's all I'm gonna make every single fight look easy because I am so much better than them. And if I don't truly believe that, then what
then
am I
what are you
doing?
doing, right? Yeah. If you don't think you're the best, then what are you doing here?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what they always
competitive,
say.
man. I'm the best, and I'm gonna stay here for a long time. And I'm just gonna keep knocking out names. Whoever they give me doesn't matter. And I'm ready. Been ready.
Yeah. So last question right here. We'll end it on this, man. If you had to make one final statement to Mike Perry, and let's say tomorrow's fight day, you weighed in, what would be your final statement to him?
So he already signed the contract.
Yeah, everything's done. The fight is tomorrow. Y'all weighed in, and you're looking at him right now.
Oh man, I don't know. There's plenty of shit I could say, but it wouldn't really matter because at the end of the night, the next night, his ass is gonna be sleeping.
It'll be an ass whooping and a half, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I'm batter that man and beat the fuck out of him.
All
I'll
right,
make
man.
it look easy. I can't wait.
And that'd be real exciting. That'd be a big buildup right there. That'll probably be the biggest buildup I think BKFC's ever had, man.
There's just a storyline behind it.
Mhm.
We fought so many years ago in MMA. It's a different sport, right? That's why he wants to rematch Jake Paul because he lost in boxing. He could do better in bare knuckle. Okay, well, I lost in MMA, so let's run it in BKFC. Outside of that, I've grown. levels. You know, my boxing alone is way sharper than it's ever been, and his is downgrading. He boxes more with his face. Like he's trash. He's trash. He's so trash. Like I said, I'll batter him.
The story of who's the best versus who the people think is the best. All right,
Just
man. Well, I really do appreciate it, especially on the short notice, dude. I was shocked you said the next day. I was like, ah,
guys, right now it's easy, you know. I every day I got a system, you know. I get up, I train, you know.
mm.
So I know I have a little bit of time at this time every day. That if you guys are available, I don't mind knocking out and talking about stuff that I love already. You know, spreading the word, letting people know who I am. You guys do me a great deal, getting my name out there as well. So, of course,
All right. Well, best of luck to you, man. Hope you enjoy the rest of your holidays. See you
you
next
too,
time, man.
bud. Yes, sir.
Bye.